Hey guys, welcome to Benaya's interviews, and I'm here with Nate Gagne, a dad with 4 boys, and a guy with the passion to bring people to Christ. So everyone, say hi to Nate Gagne.
Well, hello there.
Okay, so I have a couple questions for you.
Sure, let's do it.
First question is, what is it like to have 4 boys?
Well, when my wife, Michelle, and I decided to have kids, it was my desire to have them all close in age so that they would come in together and then they would leave together. And that way, Michelle and I would still be young when we became empty nesters. So that was the plan. And so a herd of boys living through our house. What I wasn't prepared for were the stampedes from that herd. So what is it like having 4 boys? It is a lot of laughter. It is a lot of challenge. It is a lot of activity and energy. But it's a lot of fun. I'm so glad that God gave me 4 boys.
What is your favorite game to play with them, or what's your favorite thing to do with them?
My favorite thing is probably hide and go seek. That was one of my favorite games as a kid. It's still my favorite game now, I think. I love being able to hide in a spot and no one being able to find me. And when they were a little bit younger, it was a good time to take a nap. I go get in a good cozy hiding spot and sleep for a little bit. It was perfect.
Okay, I have another one for you. What was it like on your first day of being a pastor?
So let me tell you about my first day working at a church. So I wasn't technically, my title wasn't pastor at that church, but I functioned that way. So I was a secretary to a youth pastor. And that first day was one of the scariest days of my life. It was a highly professional church, significantly larger than any church I had ever even attended. And I was so afraid of getting fired that first day. So yeah, it was scary. It was really, really scary. It was in a new state. I had only lived in that state for 2 days before my first day on the job. I moved to Texas on a Saturday and started work on a Monday. It was in a position, I'd never had a position at a church before. It was absolutely frightening. Now, my first day as with the title pastor was at Restoration Church, where I currently am now. That day was awesome. It was so fun. I was so excited. And I just couldn't even believe that I had the opportunity to pastor, to be one of the pastors at the church I grew up in.
If you were to change one thing on your first day of working at a church, what would you change?
I think the hardest part of working at a new church is when you get there, you don't know anybody. For the most part, you don't know anybody and you don't know what to do. And so when we have pastors join our staff, we try to have like a list of names for them to call that first day and to talk to them on the phone and to try to schedule a meeting with them that week. So the faster you can get to know people, which is what pastoring is, it's leading people, then the easier it's going to be to understand why God brought you to that spot.
So the title says a guy with the passion to bring people to Christ. What is your main goal, and how are you trying to bring them to Christ? What are you doing to bring them to Christ?
Well, first off, I didn't tell you to write that. So it means a lot to me that you would write that and that you would see that in my life. So I thank you for that, for seeing that. And for me, I always grew up in church, but when I was 14 years old, that's when God really changed my life. And I was in 8th grade, and I always believed in God, but I didn't think God knew who I was or cared who I was. And so when He touched my heart and changed my life, it changed everything for me. And so that's just what it is. I want people to know Jesus the way I know Him. What He did in my life when I was 14 years old, I want everybody to experience that, to know how great He is, how kind He is, how loving He is, how forgiving He is, how powerful He is. I always just thought it was a God of Bible stories. I had no idea how powerful He was to heal hearts and heal lives, and to set people free from nightmares and other bad stuff. Um, yeah, so that's why my life was so changed by Him. I want other people to be able to experience Him the exact same way.
Did you have any friends growing up as a kid that still go to church with you and you're still great friends with?
Well, not. I do have friends that I grew up with who I went to youth group with, and we follow the Lord together. Not all of those friends still follow Jesus, but some of them do, and they're not all connected to Restoration Church, because some of them are pastors in other churches and they serve at other churches. So I've got a couple of friends like that, but I've got one I just thought of. I had a friend my freshman year in high school who I invited to church a lot, and he eventually gave his life to Jesus. And here we are, 24, 25 years later. And he was at church on Sunday with his wife and his 2 kids. So that's a really cool. I really love that.
So I'm going to share your Restoration Church, and can you talk about what's happening in it?
Sure.
Okay.
Are you sharing YouTube?
Mm-hmm. So what's happening when this starts? How did you guys make this? What was the process?
So I have some staff members who are over all of our graphics and production, and so we use Adobe Creative Suite. We have a monthly subscription that allows us to do a lot of our editing. So we edit on Adobe Premiere, and we use a lot of their things. Potentially, and I don't know about this graphic because I was away when they made it, sometimes we can buy a graphic like that to use and edit in one of our series. Sometimes we create them from scratch, depending on what we're doing. And so that's how we make that. And we call that a sermon bumper. It's something that plays before me or someone else gets up to talk about the Bible. And we do that. It just allows us to have a transition point for me or anybody else to turn on our microphone to set up our things. And that's me. I'm wearing glasses now, but wearing contacts in that video.
So you guys had a miracle offering. How much did you guys raise for that, and how many kids' churches are you placing around the world and Honduras?
Yeah, so in this video we're about to get to, I'm going to invite missionary Rachel Mullins up on the stage with me. And she was one of our Kingdom Builders projects that we were going after in 2020. And so how much money did Restoration Church raise? And you were one of that because you and your brothers gave money toward the Kingdom Builders offering. The miracle offering, which we took on November 15th, was $60,325.39. I'm pretty sure that that's accurate. And yeah, that was just absolutely amazing in a single day offering. We just can't even believe that happened. So in this video is me telling Rachel, hey, Rachel, I know we told you we wanted to help you launch 40 kids ministries. Rachel is a missionary in Honduras, and they're trying to place kids ministries within existing churches in Honduras. So they have a goal of 1,500 kids ministries over a 10-year period. So I said, hey, Rachel, our goal is to do 40 churches to give you $20,000. But I'm here and happy to tell you we're going to give you $40,000. And that was amazing. That was amazing to be able to do, to say, hey, I know you're expecting a certain amount of money that was beyond even what you hoped for when it came to you first time, but we're actually going to double it. The only reason we would do that because it's the generosity of the heart of the people at Restoration Church, and of course God, who spoke to people to give.
So how much kids churches is $40,000?
So that's 80 kids churches. So right now in Honduras, they have a pipeline of 138 churches in the training program. So we'll be able to, when they come out of the training program, to help finance 80 of them, to help them get started, to the tools to begin. And 80. And that's throughout the entire country. It's so good.
Okay, so thank you, Nate Gagne, for joining us and sharing what you are doing and everything. So please subscribe and leave a like, and see you guys on the next